We are about to embark on an immersive journey through the corridors of our minds. Stand by as we prepare for departure.
Welcome aboard, everyone, to the Productivity with Peace of Mind podcast adventure. Our journey will begin in just a moment. Inhale deeply and exhale. Our voyage takes us on a captivating tour, diving deep into the intricate layers of our thoughts and imagination. Brace yourselves for the complexities of our evolution. For a safe and enjoyable journey, stay seated, secure your helmet and protective goggles, and keep hands, feet, and legs inside while the ride is moving. Now relax and enjoy.
What if I told you that the real reason you're not reaching your goals is not actually your fault? It's not a lack of discipline, it's not a lack of ability, but it's actually much more related to and connected to the unhealed parts of you that you haven't addressed or maybe you're avoiding. Today's guest goes deep into how all of our traumas and things that have happened in the past can affect the beliefs deep down underneath that we have that then play a part in how we show up today and right now, and why healing that could just maybe be the missing piece to achieving your dreams. So, without further ado, let's go to the conversation. Today, we have with us Edit B. Kiss, a holistic mentor, success coach, international speaker. She's even the best-selling author and humanitarian award winner. And she's here to share with us a lot of her wisdom she's learned along the way. And I'm so excited that you're here, Edit, and really excited to dive into this conversation with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Lindsay, and hi everybody.
So let's first look at how you got into holistic healing, right? Because you came from petroleum engineering and now you're a holistic healer. And I'd love to just kind of back up and look at that journey and how you got there.
Yes, back in the days when I started to study for petroleum engineering, I was actually passionate about that subject and that kind of lifestyle. That's why I chose it because I knew it includes a lot of traveling and like a boot camp lifestyle, adventure. So that was really what was in my plans basically. And but during one of my travels and an internship, actually I started to have panic attacks, and then I didn't know what was going on with me. I was looking into some natural remedies when I get back home, and then I found Reiki healing. So that's why I got into spirituality on a conscious level, learning about Reiki. Also, I was doing the level 1, level 2, so I can heal myself and then I can, help others in my family. So it was my sanctuary. It was just a hobby. It was just something on the side, basically. And then I never really thought about to use it as a profession, and I was just focusing on my engineering career, and then later I got into a relationship and I had children. So it was all that was the main goal, basically, to work as an engineer. But during the times, I realized that the Reiki and the family constellation therapy, which I also started to do on the way, it's just managing my issues. So I still having the same patterns, still having panic attacks once in a while. I was still struggling with many things, and but I just only knew Reiki at that time and the family constellation therapy. So I thought, okay, this is it. What level I can get? I also done the master level in Reiki, and still it wasn't breaking through, to stop these things. And I was lucky to leave my 9 to 5. I quit my 9 to 5 because I was so desperate. And then I went into contractor situation, and that when I had much more space for myself, and that when I was invited to this karma yoga healing, and that was the real opening, like a third eye opening situation, because we actually activated the pineal gland, we practiced samadhi meditation, and then also I learned about mindfulness and other yogi Shiva techniques, which were really helping me with my symptoms and with my illnesses, like going back to the core trauma to heal, and just stopping those miserable life I had, and then finally bringing the peace and harmony.
That's amazing. Well, and you went from that, not just starting that shift and transition, but now you have your own podcast, the Release with Ease podcast, and your book, right? You have all of these things that you're doing now. How did you get there? That's so amazing.
So basically, yeah, with the karma yoga healing, as I opened my third eye, I started to have all kinds of synchronicities and all kinds of guidance. Like I need to, open my business, and then I need to help people. And then I actually moved to a new country that time. I moved to London to do that, and it was just a big calling. And then that was when I shifted basically to become the healer. And yeah, and how I got to this, it was 7 years ago. If you think about it, in 7 years, basically it started with podcasting, and it started also with just one-on-one sessions, going into people's houses. I was actually going into people's houses, doing meditations with them, healings with them. That's how it started. But when COVID happened, that was a good shift, because I was able to go online, and then I started to have clients from all over the world. And then that's when many people started podcasting during COVID as well. So I got into interviews, got into summits, like online summits, and that's when I got also into the book of the One Habit for Entrepreneur Success, and that's why I became a #1 bestseller. So COVID was a big shift, because everybody started to be online and more global. So that
Yeah.
great shift for me, and learning about technology, learning how to have a online present, and also online sessions, because I was lucky to have the tools which I was able to use distance as well. So I wasn't actually limited to one-on-one sessions or face like a master, but basically I could do all of my sessions online, and then it happened eventually. So it was really great. And then how I moved forward, it was just being in the best places, at the best time. So, and then meeting with influencers, meeting with people who actually invited into their community, working with them. And also I decided to take the podcasting to the next level, so I started to do many interviews like this. And then I opened my podcast, which I opened up, I call it more like a show, and then it had 17 episodes, so I don't do it anymore. It was a 6 months period of time, and with 17 episodes, when I went really deep into healings, and then I really provided deep healing on the shows. Like it's a 1 hour show every time, with meditations and with informations as well. And then the books, I also wrote several books since becoming a #1 best-selling author. I wrote a book about becoming a healer, like a coach on the healer's journey. A coaching book for seekers. I wrote it during COVID time, when I found out that many people is actually experiencing lots of how can I say this, like feeling really stuck in their place, feeling really lonely, or the opposite, when they are with family members and then they can't set their boundaries. So it was one of those situations. And then keep them encouraged to still stay on their path, on their path of becoming the light, or on the path of becoming the healer, or the person who helps others, who showing up for others, when they are actually drained by their environment or toxic environment. So that is the book about how to help them to move forward, and going from the cocoon phase into the butterfly phase. And my recent book is The Gap Filler Success, which is helping people to fill the gap between their current situation and reach their goals, and on several ways, and then with a lot of tools and guidance in the book.
Oh, that's so amazing. And what types of things are they healing from? Were they coming to with like anxiety or trauma or depression? Like what were they struggling with?
Most of the time they coming to me because they actually have PTSD. So they have flashbacks
Mm.
from memories. They still bothered what happened to them in childhood or teenagehood, maybe a sexual abuse or rape or physical abuse. That's the most common. There are people who's coming to me also with feeling stuck, like they are
Mhm.
unhappy in their life currently, but they don't know what else they can do with it, like, okay, I'm in 9 to 5, or I am in maybe a household, and I just don't know how to get out of this feeling stuck, like how to actually enjoy life again. That's the other part of the people who's coming to me.
That's such a big one, right? Like, actually enjoying our life. Not
Yeah.
just, rushing to the goal or rushing to that next thing. That's why the peace of mind part of the title, productivity with peace of mind, is so, so, so critical. But something you and I also talked about is like we sabotage ourselves, right? And that's a big thing that gets in the way of enjoying our life. Why do we do that?
Yeah, we are our worst enemy for sure.
Yeah.
And then how we self-sabotage ourselves is through negative thinking, through self-doubts and feeling not good enough, not worthy of enjoying life, basically. You feel like I always need to be on the top of my game. I always need to do something. Like we are more like a doers. Like there is a saying like we are human beings, not human doings, like so we should be more
Yeah.
like enjoying and being, and then always do because that's what is draining us energetically. And why we doing that is because one day when we were a child or a young person, someone told us that we made mistake or we are not good enough or we are unworthy to listen to or unseen or unheard, and that stuck with us, and we are like want to prove ourselves every day, either to ourselves or to others. And that's, I think, the drive in everybody, like they can't rest or they can't feel like, oh, if I haven't complete something then I'm nothing, that kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was chasing our worth.
Yeah.
So you have a 5-step success method. Do you want to walk us through that?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So the first step is actually to have a conscious decision what we want, and that is which comes not easily to people. They don't know what they want actually, and this could be a small goal or this could be a big dream. Like might you just want to lose weight, might you just want to change your lifestyle, or you want to find the love of your life, or something, a goal, like just at least get to the point to know that, okay, I want that, I make this conscious decision that that's what I want.
Yeah.
And the second step, because if you don't have an intention or you don't set your intention, then you don't know where you're heading, right? It's
Yeah.
like you are lost completely.
Yeah.
And then there is already in my program there is already a help for that, how to get to that point to find that conscious decision. And the second step is making sure that your subconscious mind is actually aligned with this conscious decision. Because might you already made up your mind, you know what you want, but your subconscious programming, like your beliefs and habits, is not supporting it, then you again not gonna reach it. You again stuck. So then the second step is to reprogram the subconscious mind to make it aligned with the conscious decision, which means changing your beliefs, like feeling not unworthy but worthy, or feeling like good enough for certain things, and feeling loved or appreciated, and so the changing the beliefs about your worth. Basically, I think this is the biggest thing. And then the other thing is the habits. It's really important, your habits, like what you eat, what you consume on a daily basis, the book you read, the programs you watch, also how you treat yourself or how you even behave with others, your behaviors, like how you respond or react in certain situations. So those habits are really important again to reach your success, because some of those habits are again self-sabotaging you. If you are a mean person, people don't want to work with you, or they don't want to be around you. So start smiling, be more kind. And again, in my program, there is a part which helps with that. So it's all coming together. So I don't leave anybody out there, like I'm not
Yeah.
just saying these steps to say, oh, that's what you're supposed to do, but there is also a way how to do them, right?
The support. Yeah. How do we identify if we're not in alignment? Is it just that we're not reaching our goals, or how do we identify
Exactly.
that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Okay.
I know what I want, but I'm still not getting there. No matter what I
Okay.
do, it's like I'm still. But then they can also look at their life because how you do one thing, how you do everything. So if your house is a mess, if your fridge is empty, if you don't know what you eat when you eat, you just randomly grab things, then you know that something is off, right? That
Yeah.
you need a bit more structure, you need a bit more sense into your situation, and that would help you to get closer to your success. And then the third point is really important as well, is healing your emotional traumas from the unconscious mind. So we're
Yeah.
going into all the layers of the mind basically. So the unconscious mind holds the guilt, the shame, the grief, and all of those heavy things, like also we call it shadows. So what we don't want to deal with, and why we need to heal them to reach your success, because they keep you on an emotional roller coaster. That's the situation which actually makes you react in triggers. So when you get triggered by someone or something and you react, from negative emotions, low vibrational emotions, you are angry, you are raging, you are hate, you are, all of these things, then you again can't get to your goals, because you are off track again, you are spending days just feeling miserable, then of course you can't focus on the good things to build up your situation. So to heal those roots is really important as well. And then the fourth step is to get aligned with the superconscious. So why do we want to get aligned with the superconscious? Is basically going through your higher self and reaching the source. And so it's downloading. You can also download ideas. It's helping you with taking inspired actions, but it's also to understand the dynamics of the universe, like bringing in the astrology, numerology as well, because there is so many portals, there is so many astrological events which is affecting you every day, but people don't know why certain things happening to them or why they do certain things in a certain period of times. Like, for example, they wake up in the morning and they are like, oh, why I'm feeling so off, or why I'm feeling so bad, and it's a full moon, or why I am suddenly fighting with my partner because it's Mercury retrograde, or stuff like that. So if you are aware of these portals, you know that, okay, I need to set back, I need to be a bit more calm, I need to count till 10, or I need to make big decisions, or I need to be more conscious, because we are only 5% of the time in our conscious mind, because it's really energy, it's taking a lot of energy to being in the conscious mind. It's like when you're taking a test or when you're doing something for the first time, you're focusing, you feel that it's exhausting, right? So your body is, whenever you do something that you've done so many times, is shifting you into the subconscious mind, into autopilot. So when you are in these portals and you know it's coming, then you need to force yourself, okay, to be more conscious about your actions, not to ruin certain situations, basically. And also to understand that there are portals which are encouraging you to rest more, go on a vacation, don't do much stuff, just relax for a week. And then what's happening in that week? You download more things, you get more ideas to adjust what you were doing until that, and help you with actually achieve more or going into a better direction. And then what's the fifth steps is actually acting on your inspiration. So taking inspired actions, reaching your manifestation. Without you, is we co-create with the universe. So we need to take action to get our goals. We can't just sit back, and dream.
Yeah. So it really sounds like healing is very much in alignment with our success. As you're talking about it, it sounds like it's this very parallel journey. Would you say that that's correct?
Yes, we need to focus on also healing, not just, taking action and doing the work, because I've seen so many people who's, struggling behind their success. So what I'm saying about it is like they pushing themselves, they reaching certain levels, but maybe after work or in the evening or at night, their blood pressure is going up, or they drinking alcohol, they are maybe have addictions, uh, functional alcoholists out there, a lot of them, so it could be many ways how it comes out, like the negative side when they don't do the healing, when they just focusing on doing, reaching higher goals, but they're not taking care of themselves as on the healing part. So they numb themselves, they numb themselves by alcohol, they numb themselves maybe other addictions, or ruining their own other like family life. They got home angry, or stressed out, and then they behaving badly with their relation in their relationships and or in the family. So that could be so many ways how it comes out of them, like not being healed, or not taking care of their emotional side as well.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's like, okay, I'm like getting by or moving the needle in one area, but then I just feel terrible afterwards, or I am misaligned in like so many other areas of my life, or I just can't, sustain all of the things I want to sustain in my life.
Yes, because somewhere it's if you don't do the healing, somewhere it's gonna come out, like
Mhm.
the reactions,
Yeah.
you can be mindful and say, okay, I'm not going to react in front of my partners in business, like, but when I'm going home, eventually it comes
Mhm.
out, or some other places or ways. But you can be mindful for a certain period of time, again, because if you are conscious about it and you are mindful, but you can't be always that, because then it's really
Okay.
draining, unless you reprogrammed your subconscious, and then now you are naturally always kind and loving, and and you healed already, and that takes a bit of time. And then one of the good thing to start with is the samadhi meditation, because it helps you already to become more mindful, or to become more focused, and become a kinder person and a more loving person, and also more vital in your body, because of the hormones what you produce during the meditation, because it's actually helping you to transcend and being in that brain waves, and then you start producing those hormones because of the pineal gland activation. So just doing this specific meditation is already helps with many things in life.
Yeah. It makes me think as you're talking of like this like boiling pot that like if it's not gonna boil at work, it's gonna boil at home. And if it's not gonna boil at home, right, like it'll boil over somewhere.
Mm.
And so it's like it's up to us to take that off of the stove.
Yeah, and then it's sometimes people don't realize it in their mental situation, or in their maybe in their around them, but suddenly they got a heart attack or a stroke, or a cancer, because
Mm.
they numb it so well. They
Yeah.
consciously pay attention not to blow up, but then it's going into the body and then ruining their physical health.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's such a good example because yeah, it's so common, I feel like whether people realize it or not, to just hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it in. And all of a sudden you have this horrible illness and you're like, well, I don't know why, but someone like you will be like, of course we know why.
Yeah.
So if we want to start aligning our goals with our healing and really make sure that we're synced up in that sense so that when we go after something and we start making a plan and we want to be really productive in what we do, but we also don't want the pot to boil over somewhere else in our life. How do we start doing that? Like, what's the first thing we should do?
Yeah, I would recommend to first writing down our goals, so make a list like, okay, what we want to achieve, and then make another list about our current habits or beliefs, like what are my habits, do I live my life, and then how I can better those habits, what good habits to implement, what bad habits to get rid of, and then what are the beliefs which most likely keeping me stuck, and then basically also watching your triggers and watching your reactions towards the triggers, like what are the situations which triggering me, and then how am I reacting to it, and then see that, like, am I angry sometimes, or sad, or how I feel in certain situations, and then like, okay, what part I need to work with. So these are would be the most important ones, and then also to see like how balanced is my life, like how much I'm working, how much I'm taking care of my body, because the physical body also, if you sleep well, if you eat good nutrition food, and then you take care of yourself, then basically you have less mental symptoms like depression or anxiety or stress, is also lowered when you are more taking care of your needs of the physical body as well. So
Yeah.
these are the first steps I would take to make sure that, like cutting alcohol, cutting unhealthy stuff, lots of sugar and stuff, cutting those out, and then implementing more positive things in the life, basically.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so helpful. And it's a great place to start. I love the idea of starting with like just writing everything down and getting it out of your head onto paper. And also the idea that you're talking about that like when you start taking care of those things, your mental state just naturally gets better. I think that's such a relief to hear for a lot of people that there's something tangible and literal that they can go do right now to start feeling better.
Yes, absolutely. Like such a little thing like taking vitamins, supplements, making sure that you have enough iron and then vitamin B, and which is really connected with your mental state, and
Yeah.
then also the sleep, like how much you sleep. That's really important. So just taking care of those, it would already shift their energy and their way of living. And why is also important to write it down, because to gain clarity, because I think that's what missing from many people's lives, because they are so fast speed, like on a fast pace, like you wake up in the morning and then you literally running through the whole day, that you don't even have time for clarity, like what do I really want, or how do I want to live my life, or what's wrong with my life, or what should I shift. So sitting down and spend a couple of 1 minutes or like an hour just to work on this through, it's really important. I do it in my group coaching once in a while, like every once a month we work through this, like spending some time in the session basically to write down this, because the clarity is really important, and we sometimes don't take time for that to gain that clarity, because we're just rushing through life.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, it's so funny to think about how many of us will just run forward and do a bunch of things and we think we're being quote unquote productive, but then it's we haven't done that critical, simple, beautiful step that you're talking about, which is what do I really want? What do I actually want? Like, is this what I want? Is this what someone else wants? Is this what I was told to want?
Yeah, because the programming is really strong, the programming, I mean, like the society, the environment, the expectations around you, it's so strong that as many people is living through that. Yes, exactly. If they don't connect to their higher self, if they don't spend time with themselves, sometimes it's not coming through. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, amazing. This has been such an incredible conversation. And I love, hearing from you and hearing your story because it really does show us what's possible. And then the way that you can break it down so simply for us to start applying right now. And then on top of that, you have a free gift. Do you want to talk about that as well? That's something that we can dip our toes into.
Oh, you mean I have a master class, a 5 series master class, but I also have a school community. So I would highly recommend everybody to join my school community. It's currently free, and what you get there is a meditation library, access to my some of my courses and workshops, and live trainings with me also. So you can have live sessions, group sessions with me where you can ask your questions, but I also give you some tips and healing practices, or some practices for manifestation. So this is, I really love being with that community, and currently we are like 69 people there. So it's a really good crowd, and yep, some oldies and some newbies. It's really good supporting each other.
Oh, that's so incredible. Well, I know that'll be a great value just for anyone looking to find that support, figure out where to get started. And I just really appreciate you sharing this all with us today. It's been great to have you here today, Edit.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for braving the inside of your mind with me. The better we understand ourselves, the more deeply we understand the world, and as our awareness grows, life just gets better and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a review and share this with anyone else you think could benefit from listening. A quick reminder that the content shared in this podcast is for informational purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, and the discussions here are not a substitute for professional advice. If you're dealing with a specific issue or need personalized guidance, please consult with a qualified professional. Your well-being is important, and this podcast is simply a platform for sharing insights and experiences. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Until next time.